Today we want to talk about honor. Amen. So, can we read Romans chapter 13 verse 7? It says, "Render therefore to all their dues, tribute to whom tribute is due, custom to whom custom, fear to whom fear, honor to whom honor is due." It says, "Render therefore all their," what does the word due mean? Debt. It says, it's just like the water guys show up at your home. They usually come with a motorbike and they have those blue jackets. Who is there? Waterman. Waterman. Yes, waterman. You have used water. This is your water bill. And they usually come and say, you either pay the bill or we disconnect. It's overdue. And if you want water, what do? You pay the bill. Now, it has said that honor is a debt. If you don't pay that debt, there are things that are going to be disconnected, cut off, because you are not paying your due. So giving honor is a biblical command. Giving honor is a biblical command. Like, what are some of the commandments in your homes? Share with me. Any commandments you have in your homes? Anyone? Dishes before bed. Anyone else? I thought the young men were going to tell us bathing before you go to bed. Saying thank you when they give you something. Now, some of you in your homes, there are no rules, there are no commandments. You don't enter this house past what time? 7. 7 o'clock, you all must be at home. Now, if you want to be in good books with your parents, you are better off if you pay your dues by being there at the right time, by doing dishes before you go to bed. Otherwise, there is going to be a very, very interesting talk that might not make you excited. So, honor is a biblical command. You are expected to give honor to whom honor is due. And remember, not everyone is due of honor. Not everyone, by the way. There are only people who are specifically chosen by God to be honored. And we talked about those people. So, if you want to have great relationships, what will happen? You have to give, because great relationships flourish when honor is given where it is due. If you want to have a great relationship with God, honor God. If you want to have a great relationship with your parents, honor the commands they have given you. Honor the commands they have given you. No honor, no grade. So honor is important in all relationships. But honor is critical in certain. What do we mean by critical? If you don't do it, you are going to miss life. You are going to miss the opportunities. Honor is critical in certain relationships. And the first one is honoring God. Honoring God. 1 Samuel chapter 2 verse 30 says, "Wherefore the Lord God of Israel says, I said indeed that your house and the house of your father shall walk before me forever. But now the Lord says, be it far from me, for them that honor me I will honor, and they that despise me shall be lightly esteemed. So God says, if you don't honor me, I am going to make sure that in life you are lightly esteemed. People don't see you. They don't respect in life. So if you want to be respected in life, God says, honor me. Honor me, and then you'll be respected. So honor is an important thing for every Christian to know about. You should know. Some of us have grown up in homes where and in places where there is no honor. The other day I was in one of those areas, and their king was passing by, and nobody was honoring the king. Everyone was like, and I'm like, these people don't know. They are cutting off certain blessings from their lives by not honoring people who should be honored. Honor is very important, especially as you relate with God. God expects to be honored. But when you come to church, what happens? People come to church to show off. If President Museveni was here, would you receive your phone when you are hearing a presentation from President Museveni? Would you just walk out and say, let me just walk out here? Museveni is talking, but for me. But you look at the way if Museveni was here, would you dress the way you are dressed? Would you sit the way you are seated? Would you have the same attitude that you have now? Sometimes we say we honor God, but when you look at our actions, if Museveni told you, I'm going to be at your church at 9 o'clock, what time would you be here? So, some of you are here saying, I don't know, Mommy, I've been committed. But God is not fair. God says, far be it from me. From now on, I honor those who honor me. Not people who brag around. Museveni is coming here to meet you, and then he arrives and waits for you. And you are thinking that Museveni is going to bless you. But that's how we treat God. When we make an appointment with God, it's an appointment. Keep time. If it is 9 o'clock, be here before 9 and be ready for the meeting. And pay attention to the meeting. We are going to be talking about these things. But some people, have you ever tried to talk to somebody who is not interested in hearing from you? And you are talking to them, meanwhile they are busy looking at pictures and they are smiling and say, you get to a point and you are like, why should I bother? But you imagine people who have left home. They have 7 days, okay, let's say 6 days in a week. You have all the time, or even after service, you have all the time. But then during the service, that's when you want to check your WhatsApp messages. That's when you want to respond to your boyfriend. That's when you want to do. When the only 1 hour you have given to God, you make sure you distort it so much. And then when you go to talk to your boyfriend, you even put away the phone. Say, please talk to me. I want to. Hello? If you honor God, he will also do what? Honor you. If you don't honor God, he will not honor you. God, can we read this together? Take. This word is take. Dishonor. Some people think, he doesn't take it lightly. He doesn't. Just like parents. Now, let me tell you students. Those of you who are still coming from home. You are blocking, you are cutting off so many blessings from your parents by not honoring the things they tell you to do. Sometimes the parent in his heart, they are thinking, I'm going to do this great thing for this son of mine or this child of mine. And then you disrespect them and they are like, no, let me hold it. I'll not do it now. And then you are like, I don't know what our parents not doing. It is because of dishonor. There are so many things that your parents will do for you, great things. If you choose and say, I am going to observe everything that my parent has said we should do, and when you do it, you have the heart of your parents. And it's the same for you wives. You wives, watch. What does your husband love? Watch it. If he likes a certain soup, when he says soup, don't come up with a new idea. Just give him what he wants. And then you are going to see good things coming to you. Bamama bafumbo. Mama Sadia. Give him the chai. Don't say, I know you like the other chai, but today I'm making coffee. Our wedding. If he likes juice, don't show up with a big mug of chai. Say, now I have a big mug for you. You have lost it. Hello? This is what Jesus said. Jesus said to them, a prophet is not without honor, but in his own country and among his people, his own people, and in his own house. And he could therefore do no mighty work, save healing a few people, laying hands. Now it was, Jesus would just walk around and people are healed, but now he has to lay hands. Hello? When prophets are honored, what happens? The anointing upon them comes alive. Now it comes to church, it comes to home, even in this church. Do you know why sometimes you don't receive miracles from this church? It's because you don't honor the anointing here. When they say, go and listen to the messages, because the messages we preach here now on YouTube, instead you want to go and listen to Ben Hinn, which is not bad. But you are like, I would rather listen to Ben Hinn than listen to the messages preached in my church. You would rather listen to Joyce Meyer, out the Meyer, whatever, or Creflo Dollar. But let me tell you, they say the prophet is honorable away from home. But at home, husbands, wives are despised. Pastors in the home church where the pastor preaches, everyone is like, we are used to pastor. He will make you laugh a little bit and then you go home. Let me tell you, honor, what does honor do? Honor releases blessings in one's life. Honor releases. Honor is like vapor. When there is no vapor, do you know vapor? Vapor bwemuka oguva mu nsi ne gugenda waggulu. Bwe gutuuka waggulu gukola ebire bivaamu ki? Amazzi agakola enkuba. When there is no vapor, there is no rain. And when there is no rain, everything dies. Now, I don't know if somebody is here and you're having things dying in your life. I'm just giving you a key. There are people you need to learn to honor. God, number one. Your leaders, number two. Husbands, even your wife, even your parents, even your pastor. Yeah. And this is for sure. This is for sure. Honor. Now, how do you honor? Some people are like, okay, pastor, we want to honor. How do we send the vapor up? Because you want the blessings. How many of you want the blessings? Now, this is how the blessings come to you. Number one. By thinking properly about the person. Now, in Mark chapter 6, these people are questioning Jesus. So, isn't that the son of Joseph? The son of Mary? Isn't he the one who, how come they are bitter? They are like, They are not thinking correctly about Jesus. Simply because you know somebody. Simply because you live near somebody. It doesn't mean that you begin to disregard, disrespect them. Simply because your dad is playing with you, it doesn't mean that he's a simple, just disrespect him and call him names. No. You should honor that person. And in fact, somebody has said that some of the people who have the biggest challenge of being blessed by God are the children of pastors. Because they are together with the pastor all the time, they think, this is a usual guy, we know him, when he goes to the pulpit, he pretends to speak differently, but we know him, and they kind of like take him lightly or take her lightly, and they miss out the blessings. But it begins with, how do you think? Okay, you can ask yourself these questions. How do I think about God? He's out there, not good. Now, you will not honor him. How do I think about my leaders? How do I think about my husband? How do I think about my wife? Omwami wange mulowoozaako birowoozo ki? Mubbi, kimwagala. And there is not going to be honor, blessing. If the vapor is not going to go up, and therefore that person will never be a blessing to you. Hello? Number 2, we are moving very fast. Recognize the person. Honor someone by acknowledging him or her. You can take the scriptures, they are there. 2 Kings. These kings were looking for a prophet. And King Jehoshaphat told them, let's get a prophet. And they said, let's go to Elisha. And so the 3 kings, together with King Jehoshaphat, they go to Elisha, and then Elisha is told, sir, there are kings here who want to see you. And he said, which ones? And then they mentioned the names, and they mentioned Jehoshaphat's name. He said, if it was not for Jehoshaphat, I was not going to get out to speak to those people. But because I honor that man, the prophet came out. Because he honored, he recognized somebody. But there are people who don't recognize. Have you ever gone to a room where the people don't even recognize when you arrive? They have been waiting for visitors. You also show up. And you enter, and everyone is either on their phone, they are busy talking to each other. No one is even attentive, aware that you have come. And then you sit there for 30 minutes, and nobody is even saying, hello, how are you? Good to see you. What do? You want to leave that place. But do we recognize God? You come here and you want God to recognize you, but you don't recognize God. You want God to look at your nice hairstyle. Say, God, I came with a new dress. I'm lending you my credibility. Olaba akatete ikange God. Kana akatete ikagenda kuwesa credit. Recognizing somebody. When you have a party at home, when your auntie comes to visit, I don't care whether if she's an auntie, recognize, introduce your auntie to the children and say, this is your auntie. But some people, somebody comes to your home, you talk to them, they go away, and you have not even introduced them to your children. That is dishonor. Your wife comes to your place of work to see you. And you talk to her, and your colleagues, meanwhile your colleagues are looking at you, and after you talk to her, you say, okay, bye. And she goes, and you have not even introduced her to your colleagues and say, this is my dear wife. This is my dear husband. This one is my son. You see, God recognizes his son. He says, this is my son in whom I'm with. He recognizes among people. He says, this is my son. Your mother comes to visit you, visitation day at school, and you don't tell your friends, this is my mother. You just keep quiet, and your friends, meanwhile, they are smiling, and they are looking at you, and they are waiting for you to introduce the person, and you are meanwhile pretending to be busy. Hello? How do you send vapor up to get the blessings? That's what you're talking about. Number 3. Listen to the person gladly. Now, that's the mark of being in a good church, where you listen to the pastor gladly. You sit there like this. Stand up and shout hallelujah. Yes. Listen to the person gladly. When your husband is talking to you, don't pretend to be looking. You look at them and smile. You may be seated, but doesn't mean that you should not be glad to listen to the message that I'm giving you. Or even other preachers here. You listen to attentively with joy. Eh? But you know, when you go to a church and people are like, it's like you are trying to convince them of something that is evil. And be glad, honor someone by paying attention to their words. Now, paying attention means you also do what they have said. That's honor. Here we are saying, we divided you in groups and we put you in MC, and you are busy saying, I will not listen to that. Me, I have my own idea. Meanwhile, you want the reign of God to come in your life. You will end up with so many dry seasons. Change your behavior to suit the person. How do you honor? Change your behavior. Honor someone by adapting to him or her. I told you my story. I never used to eat groundnuts. When I fell in love with my dear wife, because of her, I had to learn how to eat binyebwa. There are people. Ruth. You go and read the book of Ruth. When she learned about Boaz, she began to do the things that Boaz likes. Esther. When Esther learned that she was going to be the queen, or she was going to meet the king, she started doing the things that the king likes. You read all people. Joseph. He did what Pharaoh wants. Daniel and his friends, now those guys are way beyond what we can imagine. They even took on names. Can you imagine? They even took on. I think the king in Babylon was struggling with their names. Just like, have you ever struggled with people from a different tribe, struggling to pronounce their names? Which names? Like which names? They're names that people have given us, and someone gives you the name and you're like, you try to pronounce it a few times and it's like, no. Namagembe, namagombe. Kiprokoche, chiprongati, chiprongangati, aprokatichi. Chiprotichi now, that one we have gotten used. But aprangati, this chiprongati, chiprongati. Somebody comes here and they tell you a German name. You're like, what? Wolfgang, and you're like, I don't even remember the name. And then you say, I'm not going to struggle with those names because this guy is the king. He says, I'm not going to struggle with those names. How many of you don't even remember their names? They had their real names: Azariah, Message. And now the king said, now from today on, you are not Azariah, you are not what was the other name? You are now Meshach, Abednego, and Shadrach. Those are the names I've given you. And even you, Daniel, you are Belshazzar. So the king gives them names. And what do Daniel call themselves? They call themselves by those names. Meshach. And that's adapting. But you, even your husband calls you a name and you don't like it, and you want a blessing from him. Your parents give you names and you don't like the names. You want your own name. You even rebel. Say, I rebel against this name. I'm going to give myself another name. Jesus, when Jesus looked at Simon, son of Barjona, what did Jesus say? He changed his name. Say, from today you are Peter. And did Peter go back to call himself the other names? No, he said, now that Jesus has given me a new name, to honor my leader, I am going to take on a new name. And he adapted, he adjusted. They began to eat things, they began to wear a certain way. But you want to be honored and you want to still do your things. I want to do it my way, but I want to receive the blessings. No. You go to a man's house. If a man wants kalo, don't begin dictating to him and say, no, kalo is not the best. You know cassava. That is not. How do you learn to honor? By adjusting yourself. Don't just go, because for me I'm young, I like my skirt. And who are you going to meet? Adjust. That's honor. Yeah. Your son has called you, they have a party. Don't wear a funny, mother's union dress. Look for a better one where when you go to the youth, your son will feel like, that's my mom. Yeah, but they call you your parent. You don't even go to the saloon. You just show up with the fun. And then your child is struggling with the shoes not even polished. You just show up and then you are making it difficult for your son. Why? You are not adjusting. You can't even honor the people under you. Hello? Yeah. Maybe that's why you are not introduced. Some of you are wondering, how is it? My husband never introduces me to my... You are not adjusting. Chusako. Niwankubadde ogenda kumusaba ssente ku mulimu gy'akolera togenda na gundi ngenda kubanja talese ssente z'amata g'abaana. You wear nicely so that when you show up, the man is like, that's my wife. And he wants to call everyone and say, please, everyone come. This is my wife. Why? Because you look. That's why some of your husbands don't want to come to church with you. Yeah. You start wearing very nicely when you are coming to church. You're going to see your children, your husband, your wife, they are going to start following you. Because you look presentable, you have adjusted. And they also want to come with you. The other day I looked at Elder Mark and he was wearing a suit. And today when I saw him, he was wearing, and I was behind there and I'm like, maybe one of these days I should also start wearing a suit. I was like, hey, maybe I also need to wear a suit and, Yeah, I admired him. Privately there, quietly. Receive, how do you honor? Receive the person's agents, the messengers, delegates that they send. Here in this story in Luke chapter 20, verse 9 to 16, the Bible says Jesus was telling them a story that there was a man who sent his servants to go and talk to the people who are using his land, and they said, no, we are going to kill these servants. We are not going to receive the servants that he has sent. How do you say you honor the pastor in this church? By honoring the MC leaders. So, for me, I honor you, pastor. Okay, I have sent you the MC leader. Are you going to listen to the MC leader? Or you are like, the pastor ngataze. Ndechevola sigenda mu MC. Pastor bwali kyandigenda. Honor is when you receive the person. When you receive me like this, you are receiving me not because of me. You are receiving me because of God. This is your act of honor to God. You receive the messengers, the people that the person you are honoring has sent. Number 6, honor the person even when they are not present. When you are alone in your conversations there, what do you talk about the leaders? When you meet people in the market, what do you say about Museveni? If Museveni was there, would you say the same words? Museveni atutamya musajja karakata. Would you tell him those words? Or you would pretend say, you are the best president. You talk to the person next to you. What do you talk about your husband if they're a woman and married? You ask them, what do you talk about your husband or your wife when they are not there? Even your parents. What do you talk about those people you call your friends? When they have walked away from you and they have gone, what do you tell people about them? Sandro yo mulogo. Nzera kutambula naye mulogo. Mami wange, no, I'm just bearing that man. Hey, mami wange mukodo. Meanwhile, you are talking to your friends. And then when the man comes home, you're like, oh, darling, you're welcome back. You know, I know you are generous. Oh, that's being double-tongued. That's why hypocrites don't receive blessings. That's why it doesn't rain in your house, in your life. Because you are busy dishonoring the people you should be. We said honor is critical with some people. If you want blessings to come to you, there are people you should honor. Your husband, your wife, your pastor, your God. Give the person sacrificially. Give gift sacrificially. Honor the person with your substance. Now when we say give, don't look for things you don't like. I was told a story of a pastor who received a suitcase of clothes. The people brought a full suitcase, locked. Said, Pastor, may God bless you. And the pastor went home and told his wife, somebody has pronounced a blessing and they have brought a suitcase open. And when they opened, they were used clothes which were old fashioned. The other people had gotten tired of wearing them, so they collected them and said, we are going to bless the pastor with these ones. And the pastor looked at them and said, you lock the suitcase, let's go and burn it. If they can't, if they don't like it, it is not fit for the pastor. That's what God says in Malachi. You come to honor God and you bring, you look for the lame goat from, you say, let's take this lame one. It is not going to give, kana kabuzi tekajja kuzaala bulungi tukatwale tukaweeyo mu church. Yeah. I'd say you take it to one of your leaders and see if they are going to accept it. Why do you wait on Sunday? That's when you wear your bad dresses to come to church. And when they call you for wedding, then you get a good one. You even borrow. You go to the saloon. Let me tell you, Sunday should be the day when you go to saloon. On Saturday, you iron your clothes. You clean your shoes, and on Sunday when you show up, that's when you wear the best perfume. But some of you have the perfume at home and you're waiting for the wedding. Bosco announced the wedding. I'm waiting for Derek's wedding. Then I'm going to put on this perfume. On Sunday, that's when you don't brush your teeth. And then you come to church. When you are going to meet your boyfriend, that's when you get even the money you had kept under the pillow. He said, let me go with some money. You go with 50,000. Because you're going to meet your girlfriend, you get 200,000 and you put in the pocket. And you even walk a certain style. When they say it is coming to church, you make sure you hide all your money. So that you come to church with no money. Just in case the pastor says, give. I am not ready to give. For me, he says, honor the person with substance. If you have no substance, the blessing will not come to you. You know, substance can actually be words. Substance can be availability. You come and say, I am here. What can I do? I'm here to serve, Pastor. I want to see this church grow. What can I do? That's honor. You are giving your energy, your time. Proverbs says, honor the Lord with your substance. And then he says, then how that God is going to fill your vaults with all kinds of good things. Let me tell you, a church that has no honor, where people are talking ill talking, they talk anyhow, there is no honor. Anytime you find yourself criticizing your leader, that is no honor. And we should kick that one out. How? Yeah. Why do you entertain somebody who is talking against your pastor? Why do you have a conversation with somebody talking against your MC leader? Hey! We have a powerful MC leader. Now all the leaders in the church see leadership in her. You who is a member of our MC, you turn around and you're like, this one. That is dishonor. It goes all the way up to God. When you dishonor the people that God has given you, it doesn't matter how young they are, you are dishonoring God. Yeah, we are talking about living a transformed life, reformed life. This business of going around talking, that culture should die out of this church completely. If somebody comes to you and they try to talk to you negative things about the church, tell them, please leave me alone. Why don't you leave me alone? If you are going to bring that conversation, please turn around and increase the distance between me and you. Multiply yourself by 0. That's how people are not blessed. And then they spend years and years in salvation. Tolerating. They don't see success. Why? Because they have not opened the opportunities for blessing in their lives. Say, I am not one of those. I create an environment of being blessed all the time. From my thinking, to my talking, to my behavior, I am blessed. Yeah, you are blessed. God has provided the blessing. Negwe, you are there wondering, every person you criticize, you don't appreciate, you don't receive from them. Jesus, the Bible said, when Jesus was in his village, people criticized him, they did not receive the miracles. Signs of dishonor. We have one more topic and we close it. Signs of, what does Isaiah 53 say? Verse 3, he is despised and rejected of men, a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief. And we hid, as it were, our faces from him. He was despised, he was esteemed not. And sometimes that's how pastors are. Sometimes that's how husbands are. Sometimes that's how parents are. Sometimes that's how wives are in a home. They feel despised. Okay, signs. Number 1. Absence. When they call for a meeting and you decide, I will not go. It can be a sign of dishonor. Me, I am busy. Me, I have my own. I had already set aside my time. A sign of dishonor. You are going to read in Samuel 15, verse 28 to 30. Absence. Number 2, we are moving very fast. Failure to call on someone can be a sign of dishonor. This one in Matthew chapter 2, verse 11, 12 and 16. What does it say? King Herod. King Herod. He's talking about King Herod. The wise men came to King Herod and said, we are looking for the king who has been born here. King Herod is like, king? Okay, you go and look for him. After you have seen him, come back to me. Tell me where that king is so that I can also go and worship him. What did the wise men do? Well, after seeing Jesus, did they go back to Herod? No. They went another way. And then Herod felt disrespected. Says, how can this people dishonor me like this? They told me they are going to see the person and come back, and they have not. Now, when you don't give feedback, it is a sign of dishonor. In Lusaka, we have a saying which says, Obwami obutono. Bukubu zisago watumie. When people don't respect your leadership, you are the one who is begging them for feedback after you have sent them for something. You send them for something. My wife, yes, please go and make sure this is done. Okay. So she goes, and then you wait. She comes back, she looks at you, no feedback. Until you begin to ask, if somebody sends you and they have to ask you about what they sent you for, that's a sign of dishonor. When you don't even visit, can you imagine? Somebody, you say, Senga wango yali mukyalo mwagala nnyo, 5 years you have never visited. That is dishonor. Your husband works in Fort Portal. You don't have a permanent. The man's work is so tight that he cannot leave. Why don't you go on a vehicle and go to Fort Portal? Meanwhile, you are busy saying, I love him. Call on him. Go and check on him. When people don't visit you, that's a sign of that you feel like you are not loved. You feel like you are not honored. MC leaders should be visited by MC members. Yeah. How do you honor your MC leader? By visiting them. Another sign of dishonor is disregarding of advice. Somebody tells you do this and you're like, Sija, get married. I will not. I will remain fornicating. Please avoid that group. Pastor doesn't like me. You see, pastor doesn't understand this thing. Your parents advise you and you're like, that's a sign of dishonor. And you are cutting off. Remember, when you don't pay your honor, you are cutting off. The reason why they are giving you that instruction is because they love you. It's because they love you. Number 4 is living can be a sign of dishonor. People who just get out of things. When you leave home unceremoniously, you dishonor your parents. Can you imagine it? You go as if you have gone to town. And then your parents are calling you in the evening and say, Daddy, no, I'm not coming back. Say, what is it? No, I have my own house now. You're like, what? When did you start? I said, I'm no longer living with you. I'm now living in my own house. Hey! They don't know where you have gone. Just living like that. People who just pack their things and you have been keeping this person in your house, even if they are not your biological parents, but you have been staying together. At least find time to prepare them. Say, on this date, I'm planning to leave you. Leave ceremonial, but that is business of disappearing from your place of work. Look here. When you abandon the ministry, it's a sign that you are dishonoring it. You are the MC leader today. Tomorrow we look for you and you are not there. So, Pastor, sorry, I am already in service. No, I moved to the Abundant Lord's Church now. But you are the MC leader here. Say, Pastor, no, you find someone else. For me, I already left. Just disappearing like that. They call you and say, tomorrow you are the one leading worship. I say, no, I'm now in the Botanical Fellowship. When you walk away from your God-given position, hello? Yeah. It will be a very sad day if you wake up in the morning and then you call the elders. Say, elders, I need to talk to you and say, we are now the presidents of Redeemed Abundant Masses. We are no longer elders there. We have moved on. Say, but for us, we are expecting you to be elders here. Say, that's your own thinking. We have a different thinking. Okay, you just imagine if your husband just walked out and then you call, honey, what time are you coming? What? I'm no longer your husband. Since yesterday. Say, what? But how come I'm no longer? You find your own means. I am no longer. Oh, your father. Say, Daddy, they are asking for school fees. I said, wrong number. Say, but this number. Say, yeah. I'm no longer your daddy. Sorry, since yesterday I decided you are not my child. It's a sign that you do not value or respect the people anymore. Your dishonor is seen when you live and when you despise what you have known for many years. Even just getting out of salvation can become a dishonor. Hello? Your stubbornness can be a sign of. Now, stubborn is refusing to take advice. And number 6, pretense and deception. These people honor me with their lips. People who pretend. They tell you lies. People, when you bobo chalimba, obulimba kabonero ka butawa muntu kitiibwa. Nawe nyini butewa kitiibwa. Some of you wives, muchalimba bami bamwe. And some people here still lie to their employers. Even can you imagine people trying to lie to God? So, We want to finish this quickly. There are rewards for honor. Those who honor experience supernatural power. When you honor, you experience supernatural power. When you honor, you receive great blessings. Great blessings. When you honor, you receive personal access. Museveni does not allow people who dishonor him in his state house. God, you know when the devil dishonored God, what happened to the devil? Thrown out. Kicked out. You don't want to be kicked out. You want to be invited in. Hello? Those who honor will experience close and intimate fellowship. This story is talking about Jesus and one particular family, the family of Mary and Martha. Jesus with Mary and Martha. Those guys, Jesus even wept. Jesus went and spent time with them and he was close to them and everyone is like, wow. People want to see Jesus. Now, you imagine if Museveni decided to leave his home to come and visit you. That's how it feels when Jesus went to these people's homes. He was passing many rich people's houses. And everyone is like, where is Jesus going? Some people are saying, I wish Jesus could heal me. Jesus is saying, I am going to visit my friends. These people honor me. That lady had poured oil on Jesus' feet. She gave her substance to Jesus. And Jesus was honoring her, resurrecting her brother, spending time with her, teaching her great things about God. Those who honor will experience extra love. Hey, do you want to be loved beyond? Honor. Honor. But your husband comes home and you stand like this. Oh, we are watching TV, you are busy on the remote. Darling, I'm home. Okay, you are welcome. You are busy changing channels, watching Akatali Kung Fu. They told me a story. A husband wanted to take some chai. And said, darling, can you make for me some tea? Says, no. The coffee, the tea bags are on there and the kettle is there. You can make one for yourself. And the husband stood up to go and make one for himself. Said, and by the way, as you make one, please remember to do another one for me. The man has bought the tea leaves. He bought the kettle. He has paid for the electricity gas. Electricity or gas cooker. He has paid the water bill. He has paid the electrical bill. And he has said, give me some chai. And he said, He even bought the chairs you are sitting on. He even paid the dowry. You didn't pay the dowry. And the TV he bought. And the TV you're watching is the one who bought. Meanwhile, you are sitting in the house and they say, I have no time for making for you tea. Make yourself some tea, but also remember to make for me a cup. And then you come to church, Pastor, pray for me. I want my husband to love me. I don't feel the love of this man. You go and meet your friends and tell them, I don't know whether my parents really love me. When they are the ones who are making even your bed, they bought the bed sheets, everything, and they're even making the bed for you after you sleep in it. They make your bed, and the parents are like, we have visitors coming through. We have no choice. Let's make the bed. And meanwhile, you are sitting there saying, Daddy, tomorrow is school day. Give me some pocket money. I used to tell my kids, I said, you guys, if you want pocket money from me, do some home chores. When other people come and they pay them, that money would have been yours. If you want the blessings to come, big money to come, at least, if you want to be loved, honor. Those who honor will receive more honor. Those who honor will receive divine protection. Do you want God to protect you? Honor. So, honor is due. It's not something you explain. You begin with your MC leaders. Actually, you begin with your huddle leader. Honor your huddle leader. Honor your MC leader. Honor the elders. Honor your husband. Honor your wife. Honor God. Honor your pastor. And God is going to bless you. And honor, we say, it is not just talk. It is the practical. You do it something and you bring it. Say, now, if you don't have money, go. Yesterday, Derek came and said, Pastor, I have free time. What do you want me to do? I said, you carry, scrub there. But I was praying for Derek. I said, this man is going to get married. Lord, bless him abundantly. May you open doors. And the man is busy sweating for my house, scrubbing. I mean, he has given his energy, his time. Now some people will begin saying, these things are obvious. Stop going around complaining. You know the problem. Why does neighbor? You know the problem. Yeah. You start doing the right things and you are going to see the story changing. Pastor, you need to do the right thing. And when the pastor does the right thing, people begin talking good about the pastor. When the pastor does the wrong things, everyone's like, they begin talking about all the other good churches out there, and this one is not a good church. Why? The pastor knows that he should do some things good. Appreciate the keyboardist. When the keyboardist plays, appreciate the worship team. And they're like, yeah, our pastor appreciates. He honors what we are doing. Honor the people who are doing good work. Adjust. You know, when you don't adjust, it becomes, can you imagine that even God adjusts? He doesn't change, but there are times he is patient, waiting for you to change. You don't want to change, and you want to receive blessings. Let me tell you, in this church we are going to be blessed because we are hearing the right messages and we are going to do the right things. Turn the person next to you, tell them, I am lucky. I am hearing the right message and I'm going to do the right things and I'm releasing blessings in my life.